Finally, peace, 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 fam. How you doing? Peace and blessings to everyone. This is Oracle Deborah with the Oracle Deborah podcast on YouTube. Welcome back. We are in episode 5. I'm actually very excited about this short podcast today. But before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe. Um, Also, you will see me kind of playing around with different things, but I think you guys prefer to see a face as opposed to a logo. So I changed my profile picture back to my face, and eventually you'll get to see me more live. But this has been quite a week with the election and everything going on, the energies, as I talked about, going on. Um, And it's interesting too because I realized also when I pulled the cards for you from the Moonology deck the other day um, that uh, Leo was actually playing a part. I think Mars is in Leo, so maybe that's why I'm pretty sure that was another reason why I was getting all that Leo energy in the cards, which is just amazing. So everything's just going into place this week as I had hoped. And we can hope, but with astrology, you never know. There's always other things that's in play that can end up becoming more of a prominent energy. But okay, so we are coming up on the 12 o'clock hour. This is Wednesday, November 6th. This is post-election day. I guess the election. And I could not be more happy with the result. You guys listen, not just to me, because probably most of y'all haven't even heard any of what I've put out since I just launched everything anyway. But there's many of the grassroots media out there that who have, not that, but who have been keeping you guys up to date on what's going on with the elections and how everything is playing out and keeping you encouraged and debunking all the lies and the myths that the Democratic Party was putting out there. And you've heard. Now, the predominant number of Black, uh, foundational Black Americans or whoever else might claim Black, because you know how that's going. The predominant number of quote unquote Black people still voted Democrat. Uh, and, and for Kamala, I would say her name. So maybe I can say it now because she's no longer relevant since she lost. Congratulations, Donald J. Trump. I'm very happy. I've come a long way from 2016 when I was actually opposed to Donald Trump. And it was a rough year. I'm not going to lie. It was a rough year. But I've come to really appreciate what he does. And, he's the kind of person where you come to accept that this is who he is. This is how he puts himself out there. But overall, he's always going to do things for everyone's highest and best good. Now, he's the person that is um, representing everyone, but he will stop and say, I'm doing this for the Black community. I'm doing this for this community. I'm doing this for them. He doesn't have a problem saying, let's be clear. I will have some just specifically just for Black people. So he will do that. Okay, as opposed to Ms. Harris. Uh, he made it clear that she would not. And I think that was a big part of the grassroots too. No one ever forgot that interview that she did um, when she said those words. Let's be clear. It's not like I'm going to do anything just to benefit Black people. If you were Black, you would say our people. And if you had said our people, they would sound really weird, right? Because you know and I know that you're a mixed person, okay? You're a mixed Indian woman. As Sonny Austin confirmed today. Sunny Hostin literally was on a view talking, and lamenting about, you know, Harris' loss. And she said, just think, it's a mixed Indian woman. And I was like, wait, what? So we knew you were gaslighting us. We pushed back because you were gaslighting us. And now that she has lost, and I mean, she really, I mean, Donald Trump beat her by a landslide side. Okay, the Republicans have taken over not just the White House or the presidency, but the House and the Senate. So we can get some stuff done. Okay. But anyway, Sonia Hudson sat there today and talked about how this how she was lamenting over this quote mixed Indian woman. When prior to this, all she could say, she's black, she's black. I'm listening to her, and I'm like, wait a minute, what happened to being black? See, this is the games they play, and they act like we don't see this stuff, that we don't hear this stuff, that we're not paying attention. They really do think voters, us voters, are stupid. They really do. They think we are so ignorant, and so preoccupied, which they do have us preoccupied with paying bills and trying to pay bills and making enough money to make ends meet. They do all that to stupefy us, while they sit back at these tables and strategize against us. But the Democrats are so diabolical. They don't even see. I mean, honestly, if we want to think about stupid, they're the stupid ones because they don't even see what we see that they are doing. So, don't get me into this. But anyway, it was an amazing thing. I literally was up till 5:30 in the morning. It was crazy. I did have caffeine yesterday, and this is what caffeine does to me. Like I'm just up around the clock. And so I stayed up and up and up and up. And I had to get up and go to my little part-time, which I actually like now. I like my little part-time job. But I wouldn't have a part-time job if it wasn't for the Biden administration, to be honest, because I was doing not the best, but I was making it on my own and have been on my own since 2016, basically. Honestly, I would say 15, you know? So, but I started my business in 2016 officially. So it wasn't the best, but I was making it. I wasn't, my ends, my ends were, my needs were being met. My bills were paid. But I did definitely needed to make more in order to accommodate, the new projects that I had embarked on. And that was the issue. And, then COVID happened. So, but I mean, before COVID, well, 2 years before COVID, I had a car accident, but it wasn't, it was bad enough to slow me down, but not so bad where I couldn't work, because I had to work. But the point is, even then, I didn't have to go out and get a part-time job. That's my point. That's my point. So, anyway, Sunny Hostin is lamenting because we rejected the mixed Indian woman. We rejected her because one, you all were gaslighting us and trying to force us to accept that she was black. Well, you knew she wasn't black. She knows she's not black. And you confirmed that today by a mixed Indian woman. So that was number one, right? Because you went in on identity politics and we were pushing policy. We were pushing reparations. But you just kept, you meaning in general, you guys, Democrats, were just literally trying to force feed us these identity politics. So that was number one. We couldn't even get out the gate and talk policy because you were ramming this identity politics down our throats. And we were having to constantly talk it back up back in your face. So that was the problem. Number two, her past record as a prosecutor is a problem. It's going to always be a problem. Okay? You all may push back about the number of people but she did lock people up. She was a prosecutor. And she did do things to harm Black families. The Black woman whose child was sick, she locked her up. How do you expect her to take care of her sick child? You're gonna lock her up. That was crazy. You know, or the young men that she was blocking and keeping them in prison for labor. Okay, you know, you have their truths out there, their testimonies. If you don't like it, go to them, have a conversation with them. But they're telling us their story, and you're not saying one way or the other. We're just looking at the record. So there's that. Number three, you were not. She was not confident. She was not confident. She was not competent. She didn't have the experience and the skill level to do this type of job. And if that wasn't made more clearer than when she would not or could not address her supporters last night, when she left her own watch party early and left them sitting there for hours. My understanding is 6 hours. I know they would have been pissed, you know? And I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have been hanging around for 6 hours before I realized something was wrong. Okay? Unless I had friends there that were keeping me occupied. But I mean, she didn't even send out like her campaign, what do you call it, chair or whatever. She didn't even send her out. But the point is, she should have come up there. She should have made a statement. She should have encouraged her voters and then said, you want to play this out, and I will come back tomorrow and I'll have my final decision about everything to you. We want to wait until all the votes are in. But essentially, at that point, they knew they had. So there's that. Okay, the word salads. Even the CNN pundit, he called it word salad city. People got tired of hearing every time they ask her a question, every time they ask her that, you know, she started off with, well, you know, I'm from a middle class family. What does that have to do about the prices of gas and food and, you know, inflation being so high? What? So she started off with that. I mean, literally, she has given me PTSD whenever I hear that phrase. I swear, I literally, she exhausted me, literally. So there was that. And then it was just awkwardness, the clips of her at her rallies. First of all, she couldn't even get a good rally up. And then when she finally got people to come out there, she was taking up to these ratchet entertainers to come out there. That that's who we are as a whole. Come on now, it's It's just a lot of that. The ratchetness. It was honestly, it was like giving us the middle finger in our face. Like, I'm going to make y'all support me while I exploit you and, you know, have the world thinking how degenerate and stupid you are. I mean, that's how I took it. So let me move on. right? So there was a whole bunch of things, but those were the main points. Competency, the word salad city crap, the identity politics, the lies, the gaslighting, you know, and of course the border. Please stop playing. All right. So congratulations, DT. Whoop, whoop. Okay, like I said, I never thought I would be in this place, 8 years later from when he first ran. But I've never even been happier after an election. Elections don't affect me like that. It's like I voted, let's see what's gonna happen. It's always been like that for me. This morning, even though I had only slept for an hour, I got up, I got out. I even stopped by the supermarket and picked up some fresh foods for me to eat because I knew um, I needed to, replenish what I lost from lack of sleep, and got to work early actually. And I was singing in the car. I was happy. I'm, I know for a fact I've never been happy after an election. Never. So that's how important this election was for me. All right, so we have crossed over into the next day. So we are officially into Thursday at 12:02 a.m. 11:07. So this is November 7th. All right, so let me finish up. In terms of this election, first of all, like I said, I'm so glad all of us, heard the message pushed out to the women and the men, trying to, again, ram things down our throat and convince us that it was our absolute right to kill our babies, to delete our babies. That's eugenics 2.0 to me. So they just need to leave that law with the states, let the states handle it on their level, and leave this thing alone. Stop trying to lie to us about how they're helping us. The Democrats have done nothing to help us for our highest and best good. Nothing. Nothing. And they're so arrogant, and they're beyond arrogance. They are entrenched in their diabolicalness, that they say things and do things, and then say other things and do other things, and act like we don't even see the discrepancy of what they're saying, the hypocrisy of what they're saying. Or if they see it, they just, I don't know, they're just stuck in their diabolical nature. This is how they're trained. This is how they're programmed. They're programmed this way. So they don't stay and they get warnings all the time, even from Republicans saying, I'm warning y'all. Y'all really need to do some things differently, and they don't. They go right back to the same playbook. So that group is just diabolical. Okay. And there were, quote unquote, I have to say it this way, Black men out there taping for this woman, and how we were saying her name wrong, so-called, and who she was in terms of her identity. I mean, literally ready to fight. Looked like they were ready to fight people. I mean, DL went so far in on Janet Jackson. That was crazy what he said to her. And then this is how, honestly, this is how she makes them look like the stupid fools that they are. Because they went in deep for her. And then she turns around and loses by a landslide. I haven't heard people, maybe somebody put a post out there for him. But yeah, a lot of the, like Roland and these other people on the Democratic side are rolling back what they said and what they claim they believe. I mean, they are literally dysfunctional diabolics, literally. So you got the quote unquote black men in their black summit. You got black women out here crying on TikTok. Some of y'all have no idea what it was like. It was tough. I'll say this. There was a woman who said it was tough out here when Trump was first elected in 2016. But he also had diabolical people in his sphere that he didn't know what they were about. And you also had people who were extremely racist using that to their advantage. So it was tough. And I'm not saying this time around it's going to be easier, but the Republicans was never about welfare. They were always about, we'll give you tools so that you can help yourself, basically. And that's where we are. And honestly, I prefer it that way because the W-2 form is the worst form of income, if you will. It keeps you in poverty in a sense. So I prefer to be out in the marketplace. I prefer to have that flexibility. I prefer, you're not going to get the same income all the time. But you can really rack up with a really good client or contract or, working with end up working with a group of people that's able to, bring in that revenue. So there's just a lot more flexibility there. I think I've decided to stay in the part-time because I bring so much value to the table. It's such a low-lying position that, I can go in with my eyes closed, basically, say one word, and it takes, it helps them so tremendously that they're like, no, she's key. She's a key part of our team. And I'm okay being where I am, I'm saying. As long as when I leave there, I can go and go back into the marketplace. And whatever I learn and do in the marketplace, I share with them anyway. So they're always getting value added information from me, always, So, but anyway, there was a woman out there crying about, how hard it was. Because some of them were just like, you have no idea, and blah, blah, blah. Listen, this is my message to those Black men. You really, at this point, with us being on the brink of the age of Aquarius, being at the very beginning of the age of Aquarius, all this information is coming out. All this new information is coming out. All this confirmation of what we always thought was really the truth is actually the truth. If all this is coming out and you are still so blind, you're in too deep. And honestly, the only grace we can give you is like, you know not what you do. You really don't. You don't know what you're saying. You don't even see what you're saying. Because there's no way all these things are coming out. I mean, even the Democrats are backtracking and saying the things that us grassroots and the Black community are saying, and you're still stuck in the message that they programmed in your head. So you just are where you are, And for me, it's like you know not what you do, you know not what you say, you know not what you do. We can only hope, the scales will fall off at some point. That's all. We all have scales on our eyes at some point. And clearly yours is still there. So, sending love, light, and blessings out to you. All right, what else do I have here? Oh, if you want the demographics of who voted for whom, this is how I know that the Harris campaign still got literally over 80% voting from Black men and women. I think women were more like 90 and men were like 80 something, 80 plus. We were like 90 plus. So, and honestly, people are saying it's not the Black men's. Who cares what they say? Honestly, I'm like, well, why do you care what they say about whose fault it is that they lost. What have they done for you lately? What do they have on you? What threat are they lingering over your head that you're stressed out about what they say about blaming? Are you kidding me? Oh, we can get two hoops. They don't do anything for me. If they do something for you, like maybe if they're paying you to lie to your own people and telling you if you don't, then there's a threat or something over your head, then maybe that's why you're like that. But I wouldn't give a hoot. They don't do anything for us. They don't. They haven't. This is why they're in the position they're in now. And even now, they're getting advice. They're being told, go back and see what you did wrong. They don't see that that's the problem. They don't see that they did anything wrong. 12, which breaks down to 3, 3. They don't see that they do anything wrong. You know what they do? They go back to the drawing board and they say, let's see how we can tweak what we do already and couch it differently and spin it differently. But we stay with the same playbook. This is the Democratic Party. They are bought in lock, stock, and barrel in this playbook to annihilate the Black American. That's the bottom line. They just want us annihilated. So they stick with their plan. They go back to the drawing board when they lose. They did today. They got their tails whipped. And they say, okay, let's brainstorm about how we can repackage our message. That's all they're going to do. They are not listening, not even to the media. They're not listening to none of that. Only so far as they repackage what they already do, which for them has always worked. If you don't see that, folks, you're lost. And there's nothing anybody can help you with. But I just want to make this clear. There is a significant remnant of Black men and a significant remnant of Black women. And you all are part of the problem. Period. You don't see. And that's part of the problem. When you don't want to change either, that's part of the problem. And you keep trying to force these lies down everybody else's throat, and you're not hearing it. So you're either going to get with the program and you're going to continue to be part of it. And we can't afford you anymore. Period. You might as well go and rebrand yourself as something else, Do like the Hispanics. They said over 50% of Hispanics identify as white. That's what they put on their applications. That's what they put on the census. That's what they do. That's how they identify. And maybe you could do the same thing. Because what you do, your thinking and all that, it's not helping us on a grassroots level. So do what you need to do. But what you're doing is not working for us. That's what I'm saying. And as I put on my Facebook post, time to drain this one. DT is draining that Washington swamp. Now it's time for us, since this is a huge one for us, to drain our swamp. We don't need what you are, doing because you're hurting us. And we're not bamboozled anymore by the skin. We're just not. We're not naive. We're not going to be bamboozled. We're not going to be hoodwinked. We're just not good for us. We don't want to be at your barbecue. We don't want you at ours. You feel me? You're a problem. You're as big of a problem as they are. They use you for their agenda, and you happily do it. That's why we don't. Feel me? All right, so that's it. That's all I have. Please like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe. Okay. Thank you very much. I will be expanding on the channel, but for now, you hear my voice. My voice is tired, but it's not because I've been crying and lamenting. I promise you that's not it. I have literally been celebrating and been operating in hours sleep. And actually, it's time for me to go to sleep. We are into a new day. But I had to get up and out of my bedroom so that I will get some significant sleep tonight. So thank you, beloveds. I appreciate you. Whoop, whoop, to all of us. We're very excited about this election outcome. Shout out to Pennsylvania. Okay, you did that thing. But Philly, that's my hometown. Philly. Y'all gonna need a paradigm shift here because Philly voted predominantly blue. And some changes need to be made, Philly. Okay? You need to do it. Okay? This was too close of a call. All right? So the rest of Pennsylvania came through and made this happen. But if it were just based on Philly, that those electoral votes would have gone to Paris. Yeah, can't do that. You need to make some changes. All right. All right. Love you. Peace and blessings. Take care. Oh, and let's see. As I always like to leave out on my podcast. Oh, if you need any Reiki or you need a session in astrology or tarot, you want to read done, please hit me up and let me know, and I will be happy to help you out. And then my final word is may your day, or in this case, your evening, may it shine as bright as your most beautiful smile. Okay? Love you guys. Take care.